Welcome, my friends. The following video is part of a chakra series where I'm going to talk about each of the body's energy centers, how to know if it's out of alignment, if it's overactive, and how to bring it into alignment or into balance. Now, I'm going to talk about each chakra center on its own, but a lot of times there's an interplay, or if we unblock one, another one is having some issues. So it's not always something that we can work with in a vacuum. If you're wanting a little bit more of a holistic and helpful approach to helping all of the chakra centers, there's a link below to sign up for a free consultation with me. Now, none of this work should be done outside of your healthcare team. If you've got a healthcare team that you're working with, bring them in before you start any work with the chakra energies. It's important that this should not replace any treatment. I am not a physician, so make sure that you take that into consideration. If you're new here, my name is Amy Jenkins. I'm a holistic coach. I like to work with people on a body, mind, and soul level. That works with energy, our breath, our past wounds, our nutrition, our sleep, our exercise or movement. This is something that you would like a little extra support in. Like I mentioned, there's a free consult link below. I look forward to talking with you.
So our root chakra, the color is red, and the mantra is, I am safe. My needs are met. I have safety and security in my life. So it's really grounding us into that sense of security. It ties really nicely with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that baseline platform of I have food, water, shelter. All of my basic needs are met. The root chakra is also how we connect to our body. It really grounds us. It's a little bit more, if we were to give it an element, it would be an earth element for sure. And so it really helps us feel grounded, feels connected to our body and connected to Mother Earth. With our root chakra, it's located at the base of our spine near the perineum. And so we've talked about in some of our meditations about how do we grow that root down into Mother Earth to give her any energy we need to let go of and to bring up any of her energy into us to feel grounded and safe and secure. So when we feel that our root chakra is balanced, we are going to have that sense of security, that sense of our needs are being met. There's a little bit of an electrical storm. So if you see some flashes behind me, and why I have all these lights on, it's only 2:00. It's kind of dark outside. But anyway, when our root chakra is grounded, we feel safe, we feel secure, we feel like our basic human needs are being met. We also feel like we're in our body. We feel grounded, we feel alert, we feel present. When our root chakra is nice and stable, we feel able to move. I'm literally moving, and with the ebb and flow and flexibility that life throws us. For instance, an electrical storm coming out for the middle of the day during filming. We can also feel like we are in abundance. All of our needs are met. There's always more than enough. And we'll talk about the opposite of that when our root chakra is out of balance. But when it's in balance, we're feeling like our needs are met. We have abundance in our life. We are grounded. We are present. We know we're safe, despite what might be happening in the world. Individualistically right now, just for this moment, I know I'm safe. I know I'm okay. And then trusting the universe. There's a sense of trusting that the universe has, for me specifically, my path forward. It has my best interest in mind. And with that, we're also able to care and nurture for others. So there's a sense of, I am safe, I am secure, I have enough of my basic needs, and I'm able to care and nurture for others. And it comes from a place of an abundance or a full cup. And I talked a little bit about codependency during the heart chakra, and how sometimes we give and we give and we give, and our expectations, we will receive, we will receive, we will receive. And that's not always true. So that is called caretaking, when we're giving from an empty cup, or we're giving out of fear of abandonment, or we're giving because we think we'll get it back. That is caretaking, and it is transactional, and it does not have our best interest in mind. When we give from a full cup, hey, I have plenty here, you have some. When we give out of no expectation of receiving back, when we give from a place of confidence, security, that is caregiving. Signs that our root chakra might be out of balance is feeling like our most basic needs aren't being met or won't be met. There's never enough food. I don't have enough food. We won't have enough food in the house or wherever we're going, right? Our basic needs won't be met. We feel unsafe or insecure. Our security is breached. Our security is compromised. So this is one that can be a little tricky because our brain doesn't always know how to tell the difference between there is an actual physical safety concern right here, or I'm about to have a difficult conversation that's going to be really uncomfortable, really stressful, really intense. Our brain thinks it's the same thing. It releases the same chemicals. And so we can kind of get into our body and tell ourselves, okay, my safety is actually not being compromised right now. This is a really hard conversation and it's going to be really difficult and stressful because I don't want to minimize, I don't want to invalidate how hard conversations can be, difficult conversations can be, but we have to be able to tell ourselves, okay, my physical safety is actually intact. It's okay. Another sign that our root chakra is out of balance is that we feel flighty. So I mentioned that being grounded is a sense of a healthy root chakra. For people who feel flighty, they might feel in their head all the time. I'm feeling just thoughts running through my head, emotions running through my heart, but I'm not feeling anything in my body. Feet might go numb. Some people, especially with childhood trauma, can experience dissociation, which is where they just feel like they're totally out of their body. They may even leave the situation. You're talking to them and they're nowhere to be found. That's called dissociation. That can happen. And so the root chakra is going to shine some light on some childhood trauma and some childhood wounds that might need to be unearthed and might need to be healed. These unresolved emotions might start to come up in the root chakra. And so again, I say this a lot, this is a great time to do that introspection. Do I need another layer of support here? Do I need therapy? Do I need a life coach? Do I need a support group? Do I need an energy worker? Or do I need someone to help? Do I need some sort of support to help process the things I'm going through? We might also feel that, sorry, there's a dog that just walked in. She was afraid of the thunder. We might also experience addictive behaviors. So could be drinking, gambling, drug addiction, sex addiction, any kind of addictive behavior, eating, could be any type of addictive behavior. That can be a sign that our root chakra is out of balance. And a lot of times that addiction comes from when we're having an unhealthy root chakra, it could be based out of not having, again, that good Maslow hierarchy platform met, having that knowledge, connecting from the brain to the body, our needs are met. So addiction can kind of spin out of control because we just don't feel like, oh, we come from a scarcity mindset. I need more, I need more, I need more. Another one can be, and we talked about childhood wounds. So we might start experiencing symptoms of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. We might have symptoms of trauma there. So just looking out for that. So if you're exhibiting symptoms of PTSD, again, I highly recommend finding a trusted individual, a therapist, a coach, support group, energy worker. And you might need a team, right? We call our health team. You might want to go to a doctor, getting your team together to help support you through that. Lastly, physiologically, you can experience constipation. That can be indicative of a out of balance root chakra. Restless leg syndrome can be tied to our root chakra, and then poor blood circulation can also be tied to that root chakra. And again, like I always say, these are true medical conditions. We want to support holistically. So making sure we're supporting that root chakra. If there's any medication we need to be seen for, any medical doctors that we need to have looking at us. We might also, again, therapy can be great for some of these pieces as well. Naturopathic doctors, especially with constipation. Are you struggling from a deeper digestive issue? So we're looking at it holistically, not in a vacuum. So how do we bring our root chakra back into balance? Love that you asked. To bring ourselves back into balance, I really want us to start doing that deeper work. We can call it shadow work, which is where we are looking at the parts of ourselves that maybe we don't want to acknowledge. What are the parts that feel like there's scarcity? You might look at it and say, oh, I just feel greedy. I always want more. I want us to start to, again, become observers. We're not here to judge. We're here to observe. I might put the label greed on it, but is it really just, I have a high scarcity mindset? And so looking at that and looking at those parts that we don't always want to look at. That's why we call it shadow work. Trauma work, going to a professional. I'm not indicating or recommending that you do trauma work on your own. Please hear that. Trauma work should be done with a professional, and with someone who's got experience in doing trauma work. But working through those childhood wounds, IFS is a great way to work through these childhood wounds. Inner family systems theory. Therapists can help with, finding a therapist that has IFS training, or brain spotting, or EMDR, breath work, integration therapy. So looking for people who had those types of training and expertise can be helpful in working through trauma work. And it could just say, I work with trauma. Other ways to bring the root chakra into balance is grounding. I have a post on social media around grounding, but quickly, some things you can do. I like to put both feet on the ground, and then bonus if you can go outside and put your feet in the grass, or your butt in the grass and your feet in the dirt. Really connect to Mother Earth. Clasp your hands and just close your eyes and breathe. If it feels comfortable to close your eyes, you can keep your eyes open, but you're just going to clasp your hands and feel your feet on the earth and breathe. If you have to do this inside, that's totally fine. Another way to ground is to do a sensation task, which is where you look to see 5 things you can see, name 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. And you can play around with which is 5, which is 4, which is 3, etc. But getting into your body by looking around. Okay, I see trees, I see birds, I see flowers, I see rocks, right? I hear thunder, I hear birds, I hear my dog's feet in the back room. I can feel the desk under my fingers. I can feel the light that's on me right now, right? So we start naming the things, and you can do that over and over and over again. And it can be the same things, or it can be different things that you name each time, but you just kind of keep doing it. And again, you can do that while you're clasping your hands, feet on the ground too. And then reconnecting with the body. So one thing I love to do is a body scan, or progressive muscle relaxation activity. So body scan is really where I just send energy to certain places in my body. So let's try this together for a second. I want you to think about your right index finger. Do you feel a little tingling in your right index finger right now? Move it over to your left index finger. Do you feel, you don't have to touch, don't move. Just think about, just send your attention to your left index finger. Now send it to your right elbow. Now send it to your left knee. Now send it to your right foot, underside, the bottom of your foot. Do you feel those little tinglings? Where we put our attention, we can start to activate and feel into that body. If you struggled with that, do some grounding and see if that body scan helps. So body scans, we're checking in with our body. We're sending energy, attention / energy to different parts of our body. And I ping ponged around. You can literally do from, taking your attention to the crown of your head, to your forehead, to your eyes, to your nose, to your mouth, to your chin, to your throat, to your chest, to your shoulders, to your forearms, down and down and down. And you can do it that way. You can do it bottom up. Send your attention to your toes. And as you're scanning, you can kind of check in. Where do I not feel things? Where am I not feeling the tingling? Where am I feeling pain? That's another beautiful part of body scans. Am I feeling anything that feels tense, especially if you're in it with emotions? Is my chest feeling tight? Is my hip feeling tight? Especially as you're sitting there, lying there, you might start to feel, oh man, my right shoulder kind of aches. Breathe into it as you're doing that body scan. Send some extra love to that. That's going to help make that brain-body connection. Another way to reconnect with the body, is that progressive muscle relaxation. So again, top to bottom or bottom up, you're going to squeeze it together and let it go. So if I'm doing you can laugh at me, it's fine. I'm going to make faces. So if I'm doing top down, I might say, squeeze my face and let it go. Squeeze my mouth and let it go. Squeeze my neck and let it go. Squeeze my shoulders, let it go. Squeeze my hands and let it go. So you might do something like that and you can pause on that squeeze. I'm trying to do this in a little timely fashion, but it doesn't have to be a huge squeeze where you're like doing a death grip. It could just be a tighten it up and let it go. And as you relax, hopefully your body feels more relaxed. I would do the body scan and the progressive relaxation lying down. I prefer lying down for both of those so that you can really kind of get into it and not worry about falling over or anything of that nature. So the last reconnection with the body suggestion I have is doing a yoga nidra. You can probably find it on YouTube for free, or if you've got meditation apps like Inside Timer has yoga nidra meditations you can listen to. I love listening to these at night, but you certainly could do it midday, especially if you're feeling a little disconnected or anxious. But getting into the body. They do a lot of the same things I'm talking about, where they have you think about body scans, where they have you thinking about certain body points, but they do some other things where they have you checking the noises in the room while your eyes are closed. So yoga nidra is another way. And then other yoga poses, we've got child's pose, which really grounds us into the earth. Warrior two. So we really got to have a nice strong base. So we're thinking about that. Tree pose is great. Mountain pose is great because we really have to ground ourselves to go up high. And then Shavasana, fully laying down, hands out to our side. So the corpse pose, if you've never heard of Shavasana, usually we do at the end of our yoga practice. We're just laying there and just receiving this total relaxation. For aromatherapy, there's myrrh. Again, you can find that essential oil. Palo Santo. Again, with Palo Santo, you do want to try to find that it's sourced in a ethical manner. There are some ways of getting Palo Santo that is invasive. So you can ask the person who's selling it, how did you find this? Is this done in an eco-ethical way? Another is patchouli, a very earthy essential oil. And then lastly, we've got sandalwood, and we've also got clove. As for stones, I talked about carnelian. I love carnelian for the root chakra. It absorbs so much of our ick energy we need to get out of us. Ruby is another beautiful stone to work with. You can work with it raw, or you can buy the polished stone might be more expensive. You can actually get unpolished nuggets of ruby for fairly inexpensive. They might be one of the more expensive stones, but it's not nearly what the precious gemstone is at the store with the ring, right? It's going to be a lot more affordable in that way. But also I love black tourmaline. Now, black tourmaline and obsidian specifically, I love for energy that is not belonging to you. Carnelian, I love to help me cleanse energy that is mine. Black tourmaline helps us to not absorb and to help get rid of energy that is not ours and it's from somebody else, another human. Black tourmaline, I love wearing a necklace. I used to have a necklace I wore all the time that it finally broke. It was done with me. But I had a black tourmaline necklace I wore all the time, and it was kind of like a medallion to help protect me against other people's energy. Obsidian is fantastic as a stone to work with if you feel like energy from the ether is coming in. So if you've got any kind of shadow entities coming in, and if that doesn't speak to you, don't worry. It's okay. You don't have to work with it. But if this is speaking to you, obsidian's a great stone to work with to help shield, repel, and remove energy from other realms that are not yours. And in fact, there are times I recommend folks sleeping with obsidian under their bed or under their pillow or with them in bed. It can be a little spiky, so be careful where you put it if you are going to sleep with it in bed. I don't put it in my bra because it's usually pretty sharp, but I do actually have one that's really polished and round. It looks like a hockey puck. I love meditating with that one because it sits so nicely under my root. Or I can lay it on the ground next to me.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please hit that like, subscribe, comment below. Also, let me know what you would like more information on. This is a two-way street. I want to provide information that you find beneficial, that you can put into your daily practice. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you soon.